This is a part of the show where we discuss all issues to do with your mental health with Tendai Anna Phiri. Tendai is a marriage and family therapist. She is a grief counselor and a mental health and addiction counselor and an author. Today we're looking at the essential steps to getting through a divorce in a way that promotes mental health. Tendai, good morning. How are you? How's the start to the week?
Good morning. So far, so good.
Where are you there? I'm good, thank you.
That's great.
So, we kicked off this discussion on divorce. Just telling us the complexities, surrounding that it's never easy.
Yes.
Even when you know that is the right choice, but then it's never easy. Eh?
That's
so, the first question: how does one deal with the damaged emotions? Maybe also a recap from last week, just a quick recap from last week.
Yeah.
And then how a person can deal with damaged emotions.
All right. So last week, I think we read from the Bible, Malachi chapter 2 from verse 16, whereby we learned that, divorce is violent. It's violent. It's never easy. It's violent. Even the Bible says divorce is violent. So it's never easy. And last week we also covered the stages, the grief stages that we go through when you are going through a divorce. And I'm happy most of our listeners acknowledged that they went through most of those those stages. Vakapindana now. So we ended up to so how can you go through it and take care of your mental health, make sure that at least zvine violence, zvinorwadza. Yes, you will go through stress, you go through depression, suicide or ideation, but how can you do it in a manner that promotes your mental health? So the question that you asked, how do you allow yourself to deal
with the damaged emotions?
Yes. How do you do it?
Yeah.
So you know what? This is what's happening. Most of the times, try kuteta kupinda mazviri. So you feel exhausted, you feel sad, you feel angry, even confused. But one thing that you need to know is that it's very normal. It's very normal because you are experiencing a huge loss. Imagine, Pamo, you were married for 20 years, 16 years, 15 years. All of a sudden, upenyu wakuteta say, work to change. So it's a huge loss that's happening. Allow yourself to feel those emotions. You are grieving a way of life that you had grown accustomed to. Saka change is never easy, Vikendi. Chinu chawajairira, change is never easy. Even wakatama kumba sometimes unotomborasika uchidzokera to the old place. So imagine when it comes to divorce, sometimes you are also bound to go to your old ways. So one recommendation while you are healing from those damaged emotions, a coping mechanism that's not recommended, Vikendi, is that yekukurumidza kupinda in another relationship.
Okay. Trying to numb the pain or to then just say, let me move on quickly.
Let me move on quickly. Let me show that person ndogona ngodika futi. Ndogona utongororeka futi. Ndogona ngorora mumwe futi.
To prove a point.
You find it vanokurumidza kudaro. You're still going through. Remember last weekend we said it takes this first 6 months are the hardest, right? Ndopane the peak keep up the intensity yema emotions. And then it depends on individuals, but it can last even for over 2 years. So learn from it. I like saying yakatona somebody, don't waste your taste. Change it into a testimony.
Come on.
You've been tasted. Don't waste it. Don't become a victim. Become a victor. Allow the process until you've healed and you are able to live with the loss. And then for vanuteti chigara, because my damaged emotions weekend and this kwaita in a vacuum. Ndiri environment in vanhu, it could be kubasa, it could be kumba, kana pane mutauro wakashata watotaura kuti iwe ndiye ga gotwere nyika here. You're not talking about the loss. Kutaura ikoko ndokunozokonzeresa kuti vanhu vafe by suicide, because we are not talking about the loss. Let's talk about the loss. Akati sha ndikurwadziwa sha. Oh, tell me more. Urikunzwei?
Yeah.
Urikunzwei? What have you lost? Chicha uri kufunga. Talk about the loss. Don't give solutions. listen to understand the problem iri kutaurwa nemunhu. This will help because patinoedza kupa masolutions hatisi kunyatsa kubata chaipo chaipo pama-emotions ari damaged, we not. So patoti tell me more, uri kunzwei, uri kunyatsonzwa kurasikirwa kukaita sei, we are helping this person kuti anyatsa kubuditsa ma-emotions ake. We are emotional beings, so we can't hide kurwadziwa kwatenjita. And then I would like to encourage Weekend vanhu who help people, especially vakuru vemachechi, vakuru vemasocieties, vakuru vemacommunities. Vazhinji we think kuti tiri kugona istei pamwe teni tiri kukanganisa mukuita kwedu. Let's get trained. Macourses ariko anogona kuti titrainwe kuti tikwanise kunyatsa kubatsira vanhu who are going through this in a way inoita kuti mental health yavo ite zvakanaka. I have a class that will be coming on the 17th of June just for a month, and you are able to help people go through their issues.
From a professional, to be professionally trained, really, for that.
Yes.
So you did mention about opening up. We're live, by the way, on Facebook. And I'd also really want to know, for those who have gone through divorce, you can hit us up, you know, how the process was for you, how were the emotions for you that time. And it's a safe space. I would really want to hear. And any questions also, you can hit us up on our WhatsApp platform. You mentioned the issue of not bottling. And I want to know how will opening up to others about what you're feeling, you know, how does it help? Will it help in any way? And who are you opening up to?
All right, thank you. Thank you very much, Vikendi. Do you know that Vikendi, my research shows kuti madzimai akawanda vanofunga kuita suicide when such things happen. But number yevarume vanotozocommita suicide after varambwa or vanzwai yakawanda kupfuura madzimai, yet madzimai ndo vanofunga more about it. Why? Because madzimai, they open up and they share. Tinotaura. So talking is therapy. And pamwe hauna kana advice yaunopiwa, but because wangozvitaura, pakutaura ipapo wangosvotanga kutoona zvimwe zvinhu zviri positive. So opening up helps. And especially if we can open up kune not only to our family, but kune ma support groups that are there vanogona kubatsirawo, or you know somebody who has gone through this and vakakunda, open up to that person. And then in our culture chatrunonoka kuita Vikendi, it's counseling. Even when problems are starting mu marriage, you know, early intervention is the very first step. You know, but the moment we see problems brewing in our marriage, let's seek professional help. Let's seek professional counseling. You find it kazhinji tozotsvaga professional counseling after we've tried ignoring each other, silent treatment, we've tried everything else, friend help, pamwe zvisiri kubatsira, zvimwe zvichibatsira but zvimwe zvizhinji zvisingabatsira. Patakuzoti let's go kunosika professional help, the other person has already made up their mind and they want to move on. Saka let's open up, ngatikurumidzei kutsvaga help to the rightful people vanoziva kuti ava vanogona kukubatsira. And sezvandataura already, ngatichenjererei kukurumidza kumhanya into another relationship before you have healed, because chinoitika ndechekuti uchiri pain handiti, and you are telling this person everything about that, so they are acting right. The moment you have themselves, now you are starting to see the other person wakambingoina in the previous relationship. And then the next thing, because my results, they show 60% of people are not divorced, they regret doing that. And 60%. Saka kureva kuti vanhu vari kukurumidza ungorwadziswa wotadza kuregerera ungoti ndakusiyana nazvinhu, after all has gotwere nyika. But afterwards now, because remember our personalities are different, and you are attracted to somebody who compliments you, who has what you lack. So chances are maybe you are also being attracted to the last person, to the same munani personality trait said the previous person. So ngatitange tambogadisa and learn from the previous relationship and tobatsirika. Let's open up, let's talk. Madzimai anotaura. And varume ngatiregedze kunyarara. It's our nature kunyarara, but zviri kutikuvadza, zviri kutikanganisa.
If you're just tuning in, it is Mental Health Matters, where we talk all things to do with your mental health. And today we're looking at the essential steps to getting through a divorce in a way that promotes mental health. Got a message here saying, morning, from my own personal experience, I think the only thing that can help me get through a divorce is for people to stop asking what happened. So you couldn't work things out and sort out your differences. What was wrong? I'm actually still trying to get over it, but it's such questions that take me back and make me feel mad because
Wow.
getting to a point of divorce doesn't mean I never try to save my marriage. And so thank you so much for sharing that. And as for me, it's been 4 years since I divorced, and it's really hard for me to move on. You can also share with us, it's a safe space, your experience with divorce. So which takes me back to the next question, Tendai.
Yes.
That of identity. As you said, you have been known to be Mrs. This,
Yes.
Mr. This, together
Mr.
with
that.
your, with your wife, with your husband as a
Yes.
tech team.
Yes.
And it's a title that you carried for years.
Yes, that's true.
How does a person rebuild their identity after that?
Yeah, Weekend, I like what one of our listeners said. It's like you are getting a trigger every time. What happened? It's like you are getting a trigger. And so now to rebuild your identity, look at your other important roles besides being Mrs., right? Besides being Mr., right? You are a mother, maybe pamwe. Isn't that an important role? You are a father. That's also an important role. And then you are a brother. Maybe your family, who love you, who will die for you, your Absaloms, So focus on those, right? And then spend time investing in mahobbies unofarira. Ichicha unofarira kuita. Do that and volunteer kuita zvinhu zvakawanda. We've seen, let's take for instance Weekend vanhu vakaita ma orphanages. You find those people were orphans themselves. Havana kuve ma victims of their circumstance, but they decided to turn their test into a testimony. Yes, vanhu vachabvunza, but gara watogara nemhinduro so that at least haurambi uchisiya ronda riye richingonyeka. You come with a way of managing that trigger. People will ask you, what happened? You can, if you don't feel like talking about it, what is a boundary? You tell them, you know what, I don't feel like talking about it right now. And I'm not in a safe space to tell about that right now. Or I have no answer. Right? Because people will ask, and they are genuine, they mean well.
Yeah.
It's not utrada kukurwadzisa, they mean well. Yes, kuna wanenge wachida kuseka, but tiri munyika Weekend munhu anokuseka zvimwe zvinozomuitawo seifuto zvinomuwirawo. So isi tangototi ingotopfunga kuti they mean well. Ngatiregedze kutaura kuti vanhu vada kundirwadzisa. So rebuild your identity. Do things that you love. Tsvaga a hobby to do. Volunteer kuita kune zvimwe zvinhu where you will be accepted and appreciated. And you can even form new friendships so that at least you shift your focus on this and you start building the new you.
And it's very hard for me. It's been 7 years.
Yes.
Last year tried to move on and the person died. Chironga marriage. I'm failing.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm really sorry about that. Ndofuna says what I shared last week Weekend. When it's a marriage covenant, it's lifelong, and and parikuitika this covenant, the word cleaving together in Hebrew, it means gluing, kunamatidzana. So patiri kudivorsa tiri kubvarura zvinhu zvakanamatidzwa naMwari. Saka the pain will be there. Ndosa chiti the pain is lifelong. The grieving is a lifelong grieving. You will learn to live with the loss. So be patient with yourself. Look at your positive side. Yes, ndo zvakaitika history. It's now 7 years. That's history. What really loss yako iri papi ndipapa unyasonza kuti apa ndo pari kundirwadza chii chiri kuramba chichitrigger. All right, for this loss, how can you replace this loss? How can you live with this loss? And how can you live with this loss so that haurambe uchiita ronda? Because it's now 7 years. That's true. Mira usvikire waita sei wahila kusvikira wapora. And because sometimes because unopinda uchine ma-insecurities even in another relationship, utori ma-insecurities Weekend kwakaita sei zvakaita neuyoyi kwakadai so saka utori already une fear and the law of attraction. That's one nezve law of attraction vautanga kuti you're attracting some things which are negative because already mupfungwa mako muri negative. Wait until you've healed.
What are the signs and symptoms that my mental health is being compromised by what I'm going through. And, how can I take care of my behavioral health? Is affect mentally. What are the signs and symptoms? Yeah.
According to the Holmes stress inventory, divorce is ranked as the second most stressful life event.
The second most stressful.
The second most stressful.
What's the first?
It could be maybe death, especially kufirwa here. But divorce, yeah. And and you remember last week panelist nakato divorce ne death zvinenge zvakada kutofanana. So it's the most stressful event. Saka one unoita my feelings of depression, my sad thoughts over my mental health is being challenged here. Unoita anxiety, excessive worry, and you're going through the grieving cycle. Pamonita bargaining. Marie, if you allow this to happen, I'll do this. Lord, if only things could change. So, and then feelings of guilt. Maybe if only I had done this, right? And then you feel worthlessness. Asina basa. You feel hopelessness and irritable. Sometimes you are irritable. You are agitated. Too harsh so. And sometimes so when those signs and symptoms are happening, it was not you are actually being challenged. Or sometimes you lose interest in so it is very important to keep track of your behaviors. These are signs and symptoms. Immediately please get help. At the moment when they can go to a real hospital or get any professionally trained psychologist or counselor to help you, right? As I said, it's therapy, talking about those, and then to see things, in the positive light. We use what we call cognitive behavior therapy, to see the other side of the story. And then the worst one, weekend, is my feelings of suicide. Because
what's my life outside of this person?
Yes, think of maybe now you are all alone, or think of murumi now
it's a lot alone. Guys, if you try to think of it,
it's a lot.
Your life has actually really changed.
Exactly, your life has really changed. It's a huge loss. So my feelings of suicide. Please, unfortunately in Zimbabwe we don't have a hotline for that, but Kuarara Hospital contact my psychologists, nima counselors, they can help you. You know what? There is life. Don't be a victim, right? Be a victor. Don't say come to this test. It's a testimony out of this testing.
Don't isolate and don't bottle. And like you're saying, there is life after.
Yes.
There is really life after. Yes. Are there other ways, maybe that you can also take care of your physical health?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, physically. Do you know vikendi kungomukama kuseno uchingotanga ngofamba uchifurwa nemepo. Kungobuda panzvimbo ipapo uchingofamba zvinobatsira. Unodzoka iko fresh air, especially makuseni, that ka fresh air kanobatsira. And then kudya chaiko, make sure at least you are eating very healthy. Sometimes topedzera pamutango snake because hauna appetite yacho. So at least ukadya zvakanaka very healthy, zvinobatsira to increase your energy and you sleep better, and it also boosts your moods. Saka let's take care of our physical health as well as we are taking of our emotional health. And then according to psychology science, it says Vano, they can find new ways of coping up. They can actually find my new ways of taking care of my happiness levels over time. So it's not an event. It's not an event. What you are feeling, what you are going through. Yes, it's 7 years. Yes, it's been 4 years. It's very normal. It's very normal. If you allow yourself to heal, you can actually gradually rebound. Ukafara futi zakari. So also get counseling, right? Pre-divorce for those that are actually going through pre-divorce counseling. Get also post-divorce counseling. It's very, very essential. We need that help.
Thank you so much for that, Tendai. And there are people who then use, substances as coping mechanisms. Your word to those.
When you use substance, Vikendi, it's temporary, right? Remember, uchimuka japera has the loss gone.
Still the same.
The
you
loss
just
is still
numbs
there.
the pain. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Now you've actually made it worse depending on the substance that you are using. Because in the substance yakutokukuwadza futi wewe miri wako, yet the problem is there. So know your triggers. My triggers, they will always be there. Especially kana pane vanaso weekend. Unaona mwana akafanana naye. Pamwe ne voice. So every day you are being reminded. So you need to look for healthy ways. So how do I deal with this? Yes, don't identify yourself with what has happened. It doesn't mean that you are worthless. No, it's a phase of life that has happened. You right? Your life assignment is still there. Go out there. What is my life assignment? Or maybe you can actually even start helping someone because you've gone through it. You know how it feels.
Yeah.
So you can actually even become a moon. You can get trained. What way maybe a counselor, and you're now better helping Vamevan who are also going through divorce because you went through it.
I wish we had more time for those who want to get in touch with you, Tendai.
If they can contact me on 0772 781 209, 0772 781 209. And Vikendi, may I remind our customers, our listeners,
they can be that as well.
They can be that as well. Can I remind them that we do not have irreconcilable differences, but we have selfish and self-centered people. Let us not be selfish. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time, Tendai. Looking forward to next week's session, taking our time to 12 o'clock. Star FM is sounding good all the time.